experience. Dzogchen sources speak of seeing these visions, and sometimes, depending on which Lama is talking about it, they describe actual visions they're having. Actual visions, like seeing something specific from Tigles, which is the energy of the astral body. Tigle or Bindu energy is the energy of the astral body. Seeing anything from small particles, these Bindus or Tigles. Bindu means literally point. And the vision of that it's actually very easy to have. If you're outside on a sunny day and you squint your eyes a little bit like this, you can start seeing these tiny rainbow-colored balls in your field of vision. And those are Bindus, or these Tigles. And then the more you are familiar with your Sambhogakaya, this aliveness aspect, the more of those Tigles are there. But that's just the simplest vision. There are other simple particles, but from there the visions start expanding, and it ends in seeing mandalas, full mandalas. If you've ever thought of, in Tibetan tradition, they have these big mandala paintings, and sometimes the monks spend weeks, making these sand mandalas on floor. It has so many little details in them. Those details come from visions. They are not like, let's make a fancy geometrical yantra. It's not like that. They come from visions that somebody at some point has had and has then drawn, painted it, and that's how the tantras come to exist. Anything from Kala Chakra to other classical tantras. I have also learned Kala Chakra practice from my gurus, but again in very concise, very simple form. So from Tigles to big mandalas. But what does that mean? Seeing mandalas. In Amrita Mandala we have refuge, which is fivefold. Taking refuge in Guru, his Pure Land, Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. That's a relative refuge, and then the absolute, I am Guru, I am in Pure Land, I am Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. I am. That prayer describes, in short form though, it describes seeing those big mandalas. I have often said when I'm leading sessions that, at some point of practice that, you recognize yourself as a Buddha, not visualize yourself as a Buddha, but you recognize that your own nature is the same as Padmasambhavas or Babajis or Shakyamuni Buddhas. You recognize it. And then you might also recognize that you're sitting at the center of a mandala. Mandala means sphere of influence. Sphere of influence. And you are at the center of it as a Buddha. And that mandala around you, well, you can view it in a couple of different ways, but basically everything around you is a mandala. And this is a pure land where we are, wherever we are. Pure land. What does that mean? Means that people near you, close to you, wherever you go, wherever you are, you don't see negativity, you don't see distortions, you just see Buddhas in a pure land, fully awakened, fully enlightened beings in a pure land. Pure land means like, we have these mini pure lands all over the globe. We have consecrated temples, consecrated cathedrals, monasteries, stupas, pilgrimage sites, holy sites. And when you physically go to such place, you can feel that it is not the same as, you kind of enter this different dimension of sobriety, aliveness, groundedness, right? Again, you're not necessarily seeing some fancy geometrical things in your third eye, but you enter this different world, yet stay in this world. So you don't leave this world and go to some heavenly realm. This is a very important point, because lots of people are confused about that we'd have to leave these physical bodies and this screwed up physical world to enter pure land. No. There is somebody who, coming from Zen tradition and having been asked by Terayama Roshi, my Zen master, to continue his lineage, Zen tradition, and specifically Rinzai style of Zen, is very dear to me. And the greatest Rinzai Zen master of the past 500 years was Zen master Hakuin. And he says in his most famous short prayer or text that this place is pure land, and this body is the body of a Buddha. So we see that it becomes obvious when we recognize who we truly are. But until then, we see the asshole of a neighbor, and we see we don't see the world. We see the world very ordinarily up until that point. But isn't it that I'm sure some of you have had this experience that when you have a cessation, pop, and suddenly your perception of yourself and your spouse, about your dog, about your home, about your neighbors, about everything is different. This is a glimpse to Pure Land. You might be fed up with getting kebab from the same kebab shop down the block. But when you have a cessation and you get that kebab with French fries and ketchup, it's like Amrita. And then you have a sip of Coke. Ooh, Amrita. Have you had this experience? Ice cream. Bloody hell, it's the greatest thing, sex. Little things. Not only moments of obvious pleasure, but you're so alive. So alive and sober, and yet completely down to earth. The only change is in our mind, is in our energy. Isn't that interesting and fascinating? isn't it? That the only difference between ourselves and Buddhas is in the mind. The mind that they have, the mind that we have. Maybe something that came to my mind about that mandala thing. Like a take brief comment about mandala. I don't know if you have ever met a fully enlightened being. There are at least few that I'm aware